So let me ask a series of questions, because we got a few minutes left here. And a lot of this, we've talked about the story leading up to Biggie's, but we haven't talked about any of the Diddy allegations, nothing else, right? So I want to go through like a series of questions with you. Gene, behind closed doors, if you're a guy that you're close to Diddy, he paid you, you had a relationship with him, you've had a lot of fun with him, you've spent time with him, you know, what caused you to flip on this guy 8 years ago to come up with a video and talking about who he is, what he's done, and start kind of, you know, sharing some of his dirty laundry with the world? What caused you to flip on him?
Well, you would say flip on him, but I would say let people know what's happening and the truth behind him. Now, the thing about it is, as a gentleman, as a man, as somebody that's your employer, or y'all would say is your employer.
Sure.
You know, while you working for them, no, you don't talk about them while you working for them and everything like that. But when I decide to come out, I went through all the strings and all the things that you're supposed to be honorably as a man, as a uncle type dude to him. Mm-hmm. I tried to get in touch with him. Yo, my man, you owe Wolf Mother $300,000. I was in that meeting. I was right there when Wolf said, yo, I just want my $300,000 from you. And you promised to give it to him when you did the Universal deal. You understand? When you did that shit to D. Ferg, and he died the day after my birthday. You understand? He died the day after my birthday when you could have gave him that money he asked you for to get that heat off him in the street. You understand what I'm saying? You could have did that. You understand? And you didn't do it. You know, I'm coming to him and I'm having people, yo, I need to talk to you, bro, because you're going to make this right with the people that you made wrong. Or I don't want to talk to Gene. Gene was trying to get at me when he told Miss Wallace that stuff about, you know, me and Big. You understand what I'm saying? So now you said I'm trying to get at him. I'm turning on him. No, what I do, get a gun and go and do street justice to him? You understand? You hurt the person in his pockets. You hurt the person where he hurt other people at. Now, if I've taken up if I gotta take up the mortar and be the person behind everything to start this off, or be the person to get the people the strength to do what they need to do to tell their stories, I'll take that. But to say that I flipped on him, I didn't flip on him.
What's the worst thing Biggie ever did to you?
Biggie?
Yeah, I'm sorry. What's the worst thing Puff ever did to you?
He told my job that I was out in L.A., you understand? And he tried to make it seem like to everybody in the street I was the reason Big got killed.
Who did he say that to?
He said that to people, because the people was coming back to me with it. You know, he was saying that to people like, yo, he made it seem like after Big got killed, he ostracized me from Bad Boy.
When's the first time you heard him saying that the reason Big's dead is because of you?
When I heard him?
First time.
I never heard him say that. I heard other people say that.
I know, but when's the first time you heard other people say that you're the reason why Biggie's dead?
When I came back from New York, when I got back to New York.
So you're talking 96, 97. You're talking about 90.
Yeah, 96, 97. But see, what you said was wrong. You said you started our whole thing back saying, yo, I started this 8 years ago. Nah, brother. I started this when I was in 97. 99.
Who did you say to the first time?
MTV.
In 99.
99.
And
then I did it at VH1 on 2001.
Got it.
You understand what I'm saying? I said it to the federal government when they came at the FBI, Phil Carson. When they came at me.
What year was that?
That was 2001, 2002. Something like that.
Okay, so
I've been talking about this thing way back then.
25 years you've been talking about this.
And then I still was working with him talking about it.
When is the last time you and him spoke?
When he tried to send some money to me at the Kingdom in 2005 or 2006.
Since then, you guys haven't had any interaction?
We had no interaction.
So when you started talking to VH1 or MTV 99 or 01 and, you know, the feds, all this stuff, you're still interacting with him. What's he telling you when he sees you?
Nothing. Nothing.
But what are you telling the market? Are you telling MTV like the stuff about Ja Rule? Are you telling MTV the stuff about Usher? What are you telling them?
Ja Rule stuff was, no, I'm telling them stuff about what happened, whatever they asking about, like you doing an interview. When you do an interview, you ask me questions. Mm-hmm. I answer the questions. So I'm doing the same thing I do to them. Whatever questions they ask me is the questions I answer.
So were you ever asked a question such as, so, hey, Gene, we're being told that, some are claiming that Biggie's dead because of you. Did anybody ever ask you the question or no?
No, nobody asked me that question.
Okay, so that question wasn't asked. So what are you talking about in 99 or 01 to MTV and VH1 about Diddy?
I'm talking about Biggie's death. And how it happened, that's what they asked me about Biggie's death.
And the way you're giving that message, are you in a way eluding that the blame is on Puff?
I wouldn't say I was alluding that the blame was on Puff, but I'm alluding that he created the atmosphere for Big to die, and that's it.
But it's fair to say you increased the pressure and the temperature 8 years ago. Is that fair to say that you started kind of getting more and more and more and more in the recent years?
I think that because you guys and I got involved in the YouTube thing, that it became more popular. But I'm still telling the same story the way I've been telling it ever since then.
Okay. So Rob, can you find a clip from 8 years ago? There's a clip of you 8 years ago where you're talking about his dad, right? And this is how I found that. I had no idea who Diddy's father was.
Right.
I had no idea who,
So you telling me you found out about Gene Deal?
I found out about his father through you.
Through me?
I did.
Wow.
If you type in...
You was listening to me back then?
Well, I mean, Gene, you've been around. You type in, Rob, if you can type in Gene Deal old video. Just type in old video, and it should come up. Right there, second video. Play that clip and put it on 1.25, Rob, speed. Yeah, just put on 1.25. Go for it.
TV. You want to reminisce, brother? You want to put Big, Wolf, and RZA on teleprompter and tell the world how much you love them? When in fact,
18.
You did nothing to save them?
16.
To help them? Let's reminisce. Let's reminisce that night. We was at Andre Morell's house, and I told you that this cat was coming to kill us or try to get at us that night. I told you I had intel, but you didn't want to hear it. Let's reminisce the fact. I told our driver, Kenny, run this next 3 lights. Run the light, Kenny. Kenny ran the light, Big stopped at the light. Big get killed. Wasn't meant for him, bruh. Let's reminisce. Let's reminisce when you told Wolf's mother right after he died that you didn't owe him no $300,000 and he had to lose you.
You can pause it here. So I see this, and then, Diddy's father was a former vet, right? Military.
Okay.
And what's his name? Melvin Combs, right? If I'm not mistaken. Melvin Combs. And he used to sell heroin in Harlem.
Go ahead.
And apparently he used to be one of, it says Frank Lucas, but it was Nicky Barnes that he used to work. He was one of Nicky Barnes' associate, but even Frank Lucas said that he had a relationship with Melvin. This is what I've heard. These are the stories.
That's not true, brother.
Okay, and I'm telling you what I've read and heard, and I want to kind of hear your thoughts. And then he dies in 72, right?
Right.
We've heard all the stories of, I've looked at to see who's, Zip, on all these other names that you hear about. And then, Puff was 3 years old when that happened, and he wasn't on stage. I think he's given a talk at one of the schools that he went to. He's given a talk and he says, hey, I had to learn when I went to school here on my second days when I found out what my dad used to do. I was told a different story about my mother. So what do you know about who his father was?
I know for what his father was by New York Freddie Myers, who ran that area over there. His lieutenant, Omar, used to finance, like we giving block parties and things like that for the kids and everything. He had fish stores, he had barber shops, beautician shops, restaurants and everything. So when we was giving parties and everything, block parties, giving 100 bags back to the kids and stuff like that, Omar used to give us money to finance that. So now, I think Freddie Myers had just came home from jail. He tried to talk to Russell Simmons. Russell Simmons wouldn't have a conversation with him, and Russell Simmons used to work for him before he went to jail, because he was starting a record label himself, Freddie Myers. Freddie Myers said he told me that he had a glass table with nothing but $100 bills all through the glass table stacked up, and it was a glass table, $100 bills stacked up in it, like blocks of $100 bills, and then the glass table had $100 bills in it too. He said, I want to talk to you. Heard you was a good dude and everything like that. He said, I tried to talk to Puff, and I want to tell him the truth about his father. So this is a stand-up guy who did all this time and came home. He said, Puff's father was a part of my crew. And I think it was Hollywood Harold or somebody who brought him in there. You understand? He said that Puff's father ratted and snitched the crew out. And this is how he did it. They had a cop that was working for Freddie Myers' crew. They caught Puff's father in something. And they gave the cop $10,000. And the cop brought them back the recording and the written statement of what he said about the people or the members that he had in the crew. And Puff's father, doing that, told the cop the only reason he was snitching because he he had to make a wedding that he couldn't miss. Freddie Myers told the guy who brought him in the fold of the crew, yo, you got to get rid of him.
Is Freddie Myers one of Nicky Barnes' associates?
I don't know how associated they were, but I know Freddie Myers ran that whole area around there from the Foster Projects from 110th Street all the way to 118th Street. You know, now, did he have some dealings with Nicky? They all in the same business. You understand?
Nicky Barnes leaves, he becomes an informant. Frank Lucas leaves, he becomes an informant.
Right.
So now, you know, you're saying the rumors that maybe his father was one as well.
This is what Freddie Myers
told you.
Yeah, New York Freddie.
Right.
Is telling me. And he even said it, I think he said it in one of those documentaries he did. So now, he said, he told the individual that he had to get rid of him. He said, young fella, the dude that killed Puff's father was crying the hardest at the funeral carrying the casket.
I heard you say that. I heard you say that in another interview.
Now, that came from Freddie Myers.
Right.
I didn't ask for that information.
In these uncertain times, if there's anything we need is we need people to believe the future looks bright. So if you've heard about me saying this mission to you, we're on a mission to get 1 million people to wear this gear, and this is what we're doing. If you buy one of these hats, there's a category of buying one hat, getting the second one free. If you haven't yet worn this gear publicly, go ahead and test it out. Buy some of the gear, wear it in public, and see how many people will stop by and say, you also watch Valuetainment? You also follow PBD Podcast? I do too. Place your order. Go to vtmerch.com, click on the link above or below, place your order, and represent the VT and the PBD Podcast gear.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.